Electromagnetic fields, electromagnetism, an overview. First one of the three parts. Series on electromagnetic field theory, lecture number 0.00. It is said there exists four different, distinct, and unique fields in this universe. Only four. They are electromagnetic field, gravitational field, weak and strong interactions. The last two forces or fields exist in the nuclei of atoms, whereas the gravitational field is associated with mass. The first one, electromagnetic field, it exists in the regions surrounding charges and currents. To its credit, it is said electromagnetic field is the only field that has a theory developed for it completely and totally. It implies the nature of electromagnetic field is known to mankind in total. This cannot be said about the remaining three fields. Electromagnetic field theory is also called field theory or wave theory in short. It is a core subject in electrical engineering. In fact, it is core of the core for the study of electrical engineering. The generation of electrical energy, its transmission, its distribution. All these aspects are based on electromagnetic field theory or wave theory. In communication engineering, the functioning of antenna, the design of antenna, it is all based on radiation, which is an important property of dynamic electromagnetic fields. One cannot imagine any wireless communication system without antennas. From this, it is not difficult to understand how much importance the electromagnetic field theory carries in communication engineering. Now, it is planned to give an overall view of electromagnetic field theory. This view is organized in three parts. In the present session, covering the first part, the title of the subject, its relevance, the prerequisites to the subject, its relation to circuit theory, various functional divisions in this subject, and also some more interesting points are introduced. To begin with, let us ponder a little over the title of the subject. It is called electromagnetic field theory or field theory in short. It is also called electromagnetic wave theory or wave theory in short. In electrical engineering, the study is limited to fields, static fields and dynamic fields. In that branch, usually the title is electromagnetic field theory or field theory. In communication engineering, in addition to fields, electromagnetic waves, they are also studied. In that branch, the title is usually electromagnetic wave theory or wave theory in short. Now, a question, a doubt arises. What is the need to study field theory or wave theory as far as communication engineers are concerned? Communications are mostly electrical, and electrical communications are mostly wireless. Earlier, wired communications are as much as wireless, but slowly the proportion of wire communication systems are coming down, and most of the communications are happening through wireless. Hence, nowadays, one can say 95% of the electrical communications are wireless. And wireless communications use antennas. Without antenna, one cannot imagine a wireless communication system. Usually, at two places, antennas are used, at the transmitter, at the receiver. So, antenna is an essential part, a critical part in a wireless communication system. Antennas functioning is based on EM radiation, electromagnetic radiation. Radiation broadly is flow of energy, electromagnetic energy. EM radiation is property of dynamic fields. Electromagnetic dynamic fields, they radiate. So we need to study dynamic fields as communication engineers. But if we go directly to dynamic fields, it is difficult to understand, to go deep into the nature of the fields. Hence, normally the study of the theory starts with simple fields, simple cases, that is static fields. We start with the static fields and then we go to dynamic fields and then we study radiation. Basic point here one has to keep in mind is our primary requirement is electromagnetic radiation. The understanding of electromagnetic radiation, the wave theory, electromagnetic wave theory. If one goes directly to that topic, as it is difficult to understand and as it is difficult to go deep into the nature of the radiation or fields, usually we start the study with static fields. Hence, ECE students and engineers need to have a solid grip over EM, field theory or wave theory. Various subjects we encounter in electrical engineering or communication engineering like circuit theory, transmission line theory, microwave engineering, antennas and wave propagation, radar engineering, and several other subjects too. Their origin lies in electromagnetic field theory or wave theory. They are connected to electromagnetic wave theory or field theory. Here, a brief is given regarding circuit theory. Then we compare circuit theory with field theory and wave theory. By comparison, we try to have an understanding regarding why circuit theory is required to study. What is the importance of circuit theory? Where it is useful? Why we have to use circuit theory in the analysis of electrical circuits? And several other issues are also clarified. Now, few points regarding circuit theory. Circuit theory is simple, easy to deal with, but it is approximate. Results are not exact. It is valid only at low frequencies. As the frequency of the functioning of the circuit goes up, the validity of the results obtained through circuit theory principles becomes lesser and lesser unreliable. It is single dimensional. Quantities are mostly scalar. It is in terms of voltages and currents. Concept of voltage, concept of current, it is simple to understand. Lumped representation of basic electrical quantities, resistance, inductance, capacitance, that is used in this theory. Radiation exists in the circuit whenever operation is above zero frequency. In the circuits that are analyzed with circuit theory also associated with radiation, but usually the frequencies that are encountered in circuit theory are small, low. So radiation is small, low, hence it is neglected and circuit theory is applied to get the results. We don't consider wave phenomena. Radiation is actually a wave phenomena. Radiation neglected implies wave phenomena is neglected. Here one point is required to be mentioned. In transmission line theory, radiation is neglected, but wave phenomena is taken into consideration. But in circuit theory, both are neglected. Against circuit theory, we consider certain aspects pertaining to field theory or wave theory. Field theory is quite complex, but it gives exact results. Field theory or wave theory, it is valid for all frequencies of operation. Validity is total. Field theory is applicable even for DC cases. Static fields, it is three-dimensional. Quantities that are involved in this theory are vectors, mostly vectors. The theory is in terms of electric field and magnetic field, E and H. E stands for electric field, H stands for magnetic fields. They are vectors. In this theory, basic electrical quantities, resistance, inductance and capacitance, they are used as distributed parameters or quantities. Radiation is taken into account. Wave phenomena is considered. It is taken into consideration seriously. Before going further, one can understand after going through this slide and the earlier one, that circuit theory is a simple one, easy to understand, but it is valid at low frequencies. It gives not exact results. Whereas field theory is an exact theory, valid at all frequencies including zero, but it is complex. It is difficult either to analyze or to understand. In addition, if we want wave phenomena, if we want radiation to understand, we have to study field theory or wave theory, not circuit theory. Circuit theory, it is not in any way connected to wave phenomena. Wave phenomena, radiation, these are neglected in circuit theory. The right theory, correct theory, appropriate theory is wave theory or field theory to study radiation. Certain prerequisites are there to go for the study of electromagnetic field theory or wave theory. Vector calculus and coordinate systems. These two are must. When it comes to vector calculus, an understanding, a good understanding, a physical feel regarding gradient, divergence, and curl operations is a must. All these three operations, they use an operator called del. Del is a vector operator. It is a three-dimensional operator. When it is applied over a scalar function, it results in the gradient of the scalar function. When it is applied over a vector function, it results either divergence or curl according to the way it is applied over the vector function. Divergence and curl of a vector function, they have a lot of significance in vector field theory, like electromagnetic field theory. There's a theorem, Helmholtz theorem. According to this theorem, divergence and curl of a vector function, a vector field, they are capable of giving complete information, total information pertaining to the functions or fields. We need not go to any other operation. From the divergence of a vector function, vector field, plus its curl, we can have the total information. Here lies the importance of divergence and curl. In addition to these three operations, three theorems are a must, because we are going to use these three theorems several times in the study of electromagnetic field theory or wave theory. Gradient theorem, divergence theorem, curl theorem. These three theorems, they involve integration. They also involve differentiation through del operator. They are used, mainly divergence theorem and curl theorem, to convert line integral, surface integral, volume integral from one into another. Apart from three operations and three theorems, knowledge about coordinate systems is also a must. Usually, we are somewhat well versed with rectangular coordinate system, but in electromagnetic field theory, its use is very much limited. Most of the times, we need to use cylindrical and spherical coordinate systems. So knowledge about these two coordinate systems, it is a must. Mere peripheral or superficial knowledge is not sufficient. In-depth and clear understanding about the nature of these two coordinate systems and their relation with rectangular coordinate system is highly essential for the study of, for the understanding of the nature of electromagnetic fields, electromagnetic waves. Differential length, differential area, differential volume. Differential length, we come across this in line integrals. In surface integrals, we come across differential area. In volume integrals, we come across differential volumes. Volume integrals are triple integrals. Surface integrals are double integrals, whereas line integrals are single integrals. Field theory is a three-dimensional one. Three-dimensional theory naturally involves integration, differentiation in 3 dimensions, in 2 dimensions, in single dimension too. Hence, the meaning of these three quantities and expressions for these three quantities in the three coordinate systems. These are highly essential in the study of electromagnetic field theory or wave theory. As already mentioned, divergence and curl are two important aspects pertaining to vector fields like electromagnetic fields, as these two are able to give complete information or total information pertaining to vector fields. A few points regarding divergence and curl. A field is said to be solenoidal if its divergence is 0 and rotational if its curl is 0. So solenoidal, this is the term we come across in describing fields. Similarly, irrotational is the term we come across in field theory. So meaning should be very clear. That's why it is being mentioned here. Solenoidal, divergenceless. These two are synonyms. Irrotational, curlless. These two terms are synonyms. Examples for such fields. Electrostatic field in charge-free region is both solenoidal and irrotational. Steady magnetic field in current-carrying conductor is solenoidal but not irrotational. Electrostatic field in charged region, it is not solenoidal but irrotational. Electric field in a charged region with a time-varying magnetic field is neither solenoidal nor irrotational. It means divergence is non-zero, curl is also non-zero. Now, wave theory, field theory. Here afterwards, we use field theory, wave theory as synonyms. We use them interchangeably. There is a functional division in the study of wave theory or field theory. It can be divided into two divisions. One, static fields, another dynamic fields. Static fields, they are invariant with time, no change with time. Dynamic fields are variant with time, they vary with time. In static fields, two parts are there. One part is electrostatic fields, another part is steady magnetic fields. Electrostatic fields, these are associated with static charge distributions. Static charge is one which is not moving with time. It is stationary. It is not moving. Steady magnetic fields, they are associated with steady currents. Steady currents are DC. DC can also be called static current. In field theory, we usually call them steady currents. Before going further, one or two points regarding fields. What are fields? Field is a region. The region refers to ordinary space with no special properties. Field refers to a region, some space, which exhibits certain special properties. The regions surrounding stationary or static charges. Let us suppose here is some charge distribution. It may be positive, it may be negative. It doesn't matter. The region surrounding this charge distribution, it exhibits certain special properties. Like if we bring some charge from somewhere into the region near to the source charge, the charge that is brought from outside, it experiences some force. Therefore, the region surrounding the charge distribution is not an ordinary one. It exhibits certain special features. It has certain special properties. Therefore, it is given a name field. Electrostatic field is the name given to the region that surrounds static charge distribution. Similarly, steady magnetic field is name given to the region that surrounds conductor carrying DC. Here is a conductor carrying direct current. The region surrounding this conductor is termed as steady magnetic field. Now let us come to dynamic fields. Dynamic fields, they vary with time. In this division also there are two parts. One part is time varying fields. These fields are associated with the time varying currents. In other words, accelerating charges. Second part is EM waves. EM waves are associated with time varying fields. Here note literal meaning of dynamic fields and time varying fields. It is same. Dynamic fields means time varying fields, but here to differentiate dynamic fields from static fields, these fields are called dynamic fields. It is just name. And to give a name to the division in the dynamic fields, first division, it is given a name, time varying fields. So don't read too much in the titles or in the names. There are two parts in the dynamic fields. One part is given a name, time varying fields. Another part is given a name, electromagnetic wave. Now, an important point regarding time varying fields. Time varying fields are associated with time varying currents. Time varying currents can also be said as accelerating charges. Let us suppose here is a conductor, it is carrying AC, alternating current. The region surrounding this particular conductor, it is called time varying field. EM waves, electromagnetic waves, they are associated with time varying fields. Wherever time varying field exists, there electromagnetic wave necessarily exists. Wave is, correct name is radiation. Radiation is a traveling wave. Now, before going further, let us recollect the important points. Two fields are there, static fields, dynamic fields. In static fields, electrostatic fields, steady magnetic fields. In dynamic fields, time varying fields and electromagnetic waves. Electrostatic fields are associated with static charge distribution. Steady magnetic fields are associated with DC. Time varying fields, they are associated with time varying currents or accelerating charges, whereas EM waves are associated with time varying. This is part 1. Hope you have a fruitful and enriching learning experience. See you soon in part 2. Enough for now.